What's up, everybody? Welcome to HotMakes right here on HotMakes Live, Facebook. What are we on today? I don't even know. Facebook, YouTube. We're on the Twitch still. If you're out there, let us know because I think there's a couple of you on Twitch still. We are everywhere, so check us out, and hopefully you funnel down to our main HotMakes channel on YouTube. We have an awesome show today. I'm super pumped. A couple weeks removed from our original date, and we had kind of a drop-in show. And if you remember, Caleb and I did some making during the show. We had a lot of fun. I built a printer. He modeled a 3D Lego printer while I was building a printer, and it was a really fun show. But today we have a make update with the man himself. David Hewlett is with us, so I'm super pumped about that. A couple quick cleanup things. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't found us on the HotMakes channel on YouTube. Also, if you feel so inclined, you can hit us up on PayPal. There's a link in the description. And when we do show some HotMakes, there's also a link where you can go down, find episode 125, and you'll see all the stuff that get submitted and that we show on HotMakes. Episode 125. Holy moly. That's all the house cleaning stuff I have. Geary, is there anything I'm missing? Because I'm just pumped to get right into this.
What's the question?
Is there anything else we need to go over? What was that?
Almonds, folks.
Almonds, folks. Chris is with us? I didn't even know. Tech TV's back. I think Chris was just chatting, I think tweeting maybe about Tech TV recently, about like someone asking if he remembers something that happened, and it was like 20 years ago or something, But no, I think that means no. I'm going to take that from Geary that I didn't forget anything.
Your mama.
And he's just feisty today. But I hope you guys all did your homework. Last week we talked about going to check out Cabinet of Curiosities and finding episode 2. Don't find him with the rats, but you can find him right here on HotMakes. Ladies and gentlemen, our friend David Hewlett is with us. How you doing, David?
Very good, very good. Better now that I'm rat-free.
Rat-free. Well, I think last time you were going to be with us in the middle of the day, you're like, man, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to make it today. And
sick as a dog.
We totally understand that happens, especially with the stuff that, goes around this time of the year too. And
especially with a hypochondriac like me. I've decided I've got everything. I was like, what's next? Ebola, got it.
Yeah, you got it all. That hypochondriac is hilarious because then you do watch Cabinet of Curiosities and you're like, why is he so afraid? And you start seeing the show full, and we'll talk about in a little bit. But how you been? It's been a long time.
It's great. Just great. Yeah. Just been geeking out. Lots of time to do that and lots of time to play. And really, I was funny. One of the things I wanted to do before I came on tonight was to sort of look at some of the things that I'd bookmarked a number of 3D printing related things that I wanted to sort of check in on. And
nice.
It was just so much fun today. So I had the football on in the background, soccer for you Americans.
Sure.
And because my wife is obsessed with it. My son is now obsessed with it. So I feel like I've got to at least be able to speak to it, even if it's only to just cheer for the wrong team at the right time. So I just got to catch up on all this 3D printing stuff, which is just amazing. It's just some great stuff going on. I'm sort of obsessed with the different industries that it's sort of getting into, like the way they're 3D printing rocket ships now, and they're 3D printing or rocket engines, I guess I should say. And the bio printing stuff is just that's
going to be away. I mean, it's been around for a minute, but it's constantly.
Yeah,
it feels like they're constantly saying, "Hey, we did this now. Hey, we did this now."
Yeah, it's sort of iterative, isn't it? They just get better and better at doing they get a simple plan, and then they just get better and better and better at actually implementing.
Well, it feels like eventually it's going to be an episode of Black Mirror. If you ever saw any of those, it's like
not long. I think we're there, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, next thing you know, we're going to be like meeting you in person, and then like I come away with a piece of your hair, and next thing I have like a David master right here, like my own replica.
But that's it. It's funny, one of the conversations we got into I do a kids club thing, online kids club thing called Tech Bandits, and one of the things that came up recently, which I'm sure parents would love me discussing with children, was the idea that like once we can lab grow meat, like once you can 3D print this stuff or grow it or whatever you end up doing, you could eat any meat. So why not have like a human steak? Like why not grow a Hewlett, a Hewlett steak, a nicely marbled Hewlett steak, and have that for dinner? You know what I mean?
If it's lab grown, is it cannibalism?
That's it. That was the discussion. The general consensus was ew, but there was definitely some like, well, actually. And then we started talking about woolly mammoths. You could extract a little DNA and start getting some woolly mammoth steaks and things.
Imagine how many cats would be left in China if we. Anyways,
you ever had a big kahuna burger?
Or just eating in general. Everyone being able to eat stuff that was local. You know what I mean, like that was local to your basement, basically. Yeah.
Oh man, I wonder how does Fluffy taste? We should grow him. Let's find out.
Well, oh god, I missed that dog. I feel like one of those steaks. Yeah, there's something really weird about it because once you take away any of the problems with that, like once you take away, like what is the deal when it's just growing on a little plate somewhere. It's not thinking. It's not, it's not being tortured and killed.
Yeah.
In a way, I'd much rather have a steak without thinking, oh god, you sawed that animal in half.
It's kind of it's conflict-free meat. Is that where we're going here?
Well, I think that's it. I mean, I think to some extent, but cash indeed, the money indeed. I just think it's something kind of neat about it because I feel like, well, first off, me, any kind of excuse to make things more complicated and techie, the better.
There you go.
If I can geek out over a steak, I'd be very excited about that.
It would be interesting. I would definitely test that. I know we have chocolate printers, but I mean, you don't make the chocolate in the printer, but you can print with it. So I mean, why not? Matter of fact, Ellie at Ellie would not let me lay under the extruder and just like pour it in my mouth. She's like, absolutely not. We can't do that.
The burns. Treated for burns.
Right. Yeah. Ed C says,
what I would do too.
Ed C says, didn't the FDA approve meat in lab for consumption?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think there was some kind of movement on that. Yeah.
Is he asking if like lab grown meat was approved or if they approved like being able to eat like a sandwich in a laboratory?
That's like a good question. Lunch? Yeah.
They've been cleared to eat lunch in the labs. Well done.
I think K2 answered it. I think we've been already eating it for a lot of years.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, that's true.
The pink slime or whatever they called that was a big thing for a while.
I quite like the veggie burgers now, which I never thought I would. Once I stopped thinking of them as a meat replacement, the Impossible Burger is like one of my favorite A&W burgers now.
You know what? I have to agree. I like turkey burgers. I don't know if I've actually had an actual Impossible Burger, but
they're my favorite so far.
Are they?
Do I mean
I'm gonna have to try one now.
Is that the one?
I think isn't Impossible Burger King?
I could be wrong. That Burger King? I get the confused.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I love like turkey burgers and then any of that kind of stuff, but that's not really the same as an Impossible Burger. But we do get these chicken nuggets and
the fake nuggets.
I cannot for the life remember what they're called.
There's like fake ones. That's right. Oh no, it's Beyond Meat. It's the Beyond Meat Burger. That's the one. Okay, that's the A&W.
There you go.
And apparently it's terrible for you because they just shove it full of everything else. But there's something about the meat in the processed meat in these restaurants now that it's just kind of sometimes it's a little too
corn nuggets
for me. Yeah,
she is watching. Yes, corn nuggets. There you go. We throw them in the air fryer and they are so good.
Corn nuggets, really?
Absolutely. They're called corn. Quorn. I think that's how you spell it.
Because God forbid you spell it in a way anyone would get right.
Yeah, not like corn nuggets. Yeah. We are in Wisconsin, so I could see that happening.
It's got the juice.
It's got the juice. Oh man, the corn kid. That kid is amazing. But talking about all this eating flesh and maybe not flesh, but meat. We should definitely
I just went straight into it, didn't I?
We should we should definitely go not corn nuts. We should definitely go back a minute and talk about Halloween. And then, Cabinet of Curiosities that we've seen you in it. It's Netflix. If you've not seen this, find it and find episode 2. I suggest watching them all, but find episode 2 specifically.
Yeah, they're fun.
It is how because you've been a part of it. How would you explain the show as a whole, not your episode, but like everything?
It's kind of like Alfred Hitchcock Presents. It's like an old Twilight Zone series where it's basically it's an anthology. He's collected like Guillermo. there's something about like Mexican artists that are so good at like sharing the wealth. Like they just like, it's not, he gets an anthology series. He doesn't say, oh, I'm going to direct all my favorite shows and all my favorite stories. He literally hands them out to his favorite directors and says, here, you do it. And then supports them like to the very end. I mean, Vincenzo, there's even for the one we did, there's even a black and white version, which originally was going to be all black and white. We shot it in black and white. So if you go to the trailers and more section of you can watch it in black and white. I'm telling you, it's
I'm gonna have to go back now. I didn't see that.
But it's very muted anyways. But yeah, so basically it's an anthology of horror. So it's a bunch of different people's perspectives on a bunch of different stories. There's some really fun stuff. One of my other favorite ones was one called The Outside? Is the one about the did you see the one about the face cream? There was a beauty cream.
I don't know if I got to that one.
Oh, it's
I
pretty
didn't
creepy.
get to see them all.
It's this brilliant actress who plays this rather sort of nerdy, dorky looking,
I'm gonna have to go
unfortunate woman who ends up buying this special face cream that's supposed to make her more beautiful, but she has a terrible allergic reaction to it. And it just progresses from there. And it's sort of like a weird combination of like Black Mirror meets, like the Twilight Zone kind of stuff. And it's really
that's the way I've been describing it to people, is basically like think Black Mirror, but apply Guillermo del Toro's level of like grotesque and gothic to it. Like,
yeah, it's like a gothic horror version of Black Mirror. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
And
well
it's
put, Kiri.
Let's see. I'm looking on the episodes. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. Folktale version of Twilight Zone. Yeah, it does have a sense of that.
There you go. Well, in we were watching it ahead of time. We were preparing for Halloween, preparing for you to be on too, and I was like, we have to watch this. And these days there's so many shows. There's so many shows to catch up on, and especially when
I give up. I don't know how.
Yeah. I was gonna say, especially when like my wife Lindsay gets to stay home with the little guy, full-time job. It's a crazy job staying at home with the 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5-year-old, forget it. That's like a football player can't keep up with that.
But then I'm at work, and then with all the other stuff we have going on and the channel and stuff, the time that we get to spend at home watching shows is not what it used to be. So we're so far behind. And I was like, we have to start watching. We have to watch some of these and actually get to yours and some of the other ones. And so we were preparing,
because as they get older, they start taking all the TV time.
Right? Or you can't watch the stuff because they're awake. But
we were terrible about that.
We jumped in. I was like, you're right. I mean, I think as long as it's not terrible. It's one of those ones that I never minded the idea that the kid would see sex stuff, but the reality is after a while you're like, I don't want to watch sex stuff with if there's any sex scenes in a movie, you don't want to watch it with your kid. It's just they don't want to be there, you don't want to be there. Right. It just gets, That's funny. Yeah. Well, and we got to yours and no idea where it was gonna go because each episode is completely different. Like it's not connected, it's not just like you said, Black Mirror or any of the other old school shows like
Guillermo
that.
is the only connection.
Yeah, exactly.
He's wandering in.
He's like the narrator and the storyteller. Kind of the crypt keeper.
He's the crypt keeper. Yeah, absolutely.
The key keeper. I mean,
there you go. That's it.
But so you dive in and spoiler alert, there will be a couple spoilers. For one, there's a lot of rats.
A lot of rats.
We talked a little bit about this before the show, and I had to ask you, did you really get to crawl in? Like someone made, it's so hard. If you haven't seen this, I don't want to give it away, but at the same time, I want to talk about it. So like, there's something you were crawling through. We'll say that.
Someone
made that. Did you do it?
Well, I think they see, even in the trailer, you see tunnels. You definitely see tunnels.
Okay, good.
But I had a wardrobe fitting and I went in and whatever you work with Guillermo on any of Guillermo's stuff, the wardrobe is always just perfect. Like we've got Luis is the guy who does it, and he's does this. He's a absolute. Everyone who works with Guillermo is like an absolute perfectionist, except me. I just fall around and trip over things. But and he designed all of this beautiful wardrobe for me. But during the wardrobe fitting, they said, okay, now we have to do a tunnel fitting. And I was like, what? they're like, well, what is the smallest you can be and crawl and still be able to crawl? So I'm like literally crawling around the ground like this. with someone with a tape measure trying to measure me, and they were like, "Okay, great, that's the size." And then I went away for Christmas, and I was like, "Wait a second, I'm gonna all I do is eat like Christmas dinner is like my." Christmas is just eating. I expand 3 or 4 times. Yeah. So I literally called up and said, like, do you want to add a couple inches to the tunnel? Because I'm going to be...
Because I had Christmas.
I got a bit of turkey in there as well. So, yeah. But yeah, they designed an amazing series of tunnels. And they were so conscientious. I was like, okay, where am I going? And they're like, well, here's what we've done. We've got rubber dust and this and to stop you from... Because they were worried about, apparently... You have to do all these medical things, and I, of course, list the litany of things that I have wrong with me. I take great glee in that. And one of them was asthma. And they're like, "Oh my God, we can't have him in tunnels if he's got asthma." And I was like, whatever. I got it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll add to the effect. Yeah,
exactly.
Your method acting,
choking to death. That's perfect. And they came up with all this like rubberized like dirt, so that it would kick up a little bit of stuff, but not nearly as much as if they were just piling. Dust and dirt on me. So yeah,
that's crazy. A tunnel fitting. Someone says, "Are you saying I'm fat?" Oh, that's
exactly what they were saying.
Battle Cry says, "We know the truth. It's a full-time job watching Jim as well." Yes, that's a true story. 100% true. But so I mean, when you read through this thing at first, what were your initial thoughts? Like, I want to talk about like the props and the outfit and stuff like that, but I gotta like when you looked at this thing, you were like, I mean, what's in your head?
It was one of those. There's very few. I hate reading scripts. I hate reading scripts. It's like my most hated chore is having to read these bloody things. Like, if I could just skip to my lines, I would. But in this one, I started reading it, and I was like, I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even really clue into what I was gonna have to do. I was just too busy reading the story. And then of course, like right away, I just called up Vincenzo. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's fantastic. And when do we start type thing. Right. And it was, so I just like, I truly think it's one of Vincenzo's best scripts ever. Like, I feel like, and I think he would say he writes to direct, you know what I mean? Like that's his, but this just had everything. Like it has like monologues and like comedy and then just this horrendous sense of dread and horror throughout the whole thing. And it was funny because filming it didn't feel nearly as bad as watching it, if that makes sense. Like I would step back and watch a take. He'd go like, okay, here, like he'd show you a take and say, look, if you could just do this or that, and then as I'm watching, I'm going like, okay, I'm just gonna go back in. Just yell at me from outside, because watching it is much worse than actually experiencing it.
Really, that I guess like when you're doing it, you're probably not thinking about how bad it looks and all that. You're thinking about what you need to do, and then you come
busy.
Out and you're
generally busy.
Yeah.
Screaming, praying, dying,
getting drug around. I mean, by the rat people. Not really rat people. I'm not sure what to call the big thing. I mean,
I called her baby. I mean, she's the rat queen, basically. I mean, she's just that wonderful. Like, and she's just the epitome of like she's like straight out of like a Stephen King short. She's like out of Night Shift or something. Like it's like she's just glorious.
Then you had that poor skeleton. You just
that
thing was relentless.
This is a fantastic story that apparently in the original story there was this reanimated corpse thing, and I think when Vincenzo was rewriting it, he was like, I think we got enough with the rats, so he put in this rat queen, and he sort of like focused on the rats as the main thing, and then and he sort of sent the script to Guillermo, and Guillermo said this is the wonderful I can't do Guillermo justice, but this is like wonderful, this is magnificent, I love the rat. Where's the zombie? He's like, well, I took it out because you can't have both. He goes, no, you must have two vectors of horror. And he was like, but it doesn't really make sense. Like, why is
horror?
Like, why is it there? Like, why is there a reanimated corpse in there as well? And he goes, that's what makes it scary, is because like there's no reason. It's just madness. So yeah,
I love it.
He's so supportive, and he's so It's funny actually, Vincenzo, and I've said this, I embarrass Vincenzo all the time with this, but Vincenzo and Guillermo are very similar in their absolute love and dedication to film. Absolutely, they just effing love every aspect of it. They revel in it. They live it. They breathe it. They worship at the temple of film. I mean, and as a result, they're everyone wants to do their best work for them. So you just have their crew is just so dedicated and so good at what they do. It was amazing. And Halloween. Who doesn't want a Halloween special?
I was just gonna say it was so good. If you haven't seen it, you have to just go find it. It's on Netflix. Cabinet of Curiosities.
And I'll see you in your nightmares.
Yes, yeah. You have to watch. It's like one of those. If you haven't seen it now you have to go watch it because just a picture and to watch it in black and white. Why not? I mean that
the black and white is gorgeous because it's like God, I can't remember the name of the artist, but I have one of his books somewhere. But it's Bernie Wrightson. Bernie Wrightson is this fantastic old. Well, he's no longer with us, but black and white graphic novel artist. He does this beautiful Frankenstein stuff, and it's all this incredible use of like just darkness and a little bit of a few little lines, and that's really sort of one of the inspirations for this for the approach to it, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, it's fun with the muted colors as well, I've got to say, but you get a little blood in there.
I think it would be pretty fun. We did have a comment. Let's see. So David, do most TV/movie studios 3D print all of their props or at this point? I don't know about all of them, but some of them.
I think it depends. It definitely depends. Like something like C, you would do, I think a lot of it was sort of found objects. They took a lot of, again, because it was based on a sort of a post-apocalyptic world, there's a lot of stuff that they built themselves and welded together and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's all the same maker skills that you would need, but they, except someone gets paid for them. It's the stuff they did is just beautiful. Right. But then a lot of the times they'll do things like they need like stunt versions or multiple versions of things. And so usually they're doing casting, but they'll cast like foam models and that kind of stuff. But 3D printing, I mean, it's a big part of even that process. I mean, in some cases they're 3D printing parts. There's certainly in a lot of cases they're using the 3D software to visualize it. And they'll print out little models to show the directors what they're working on and stuff.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's a big part of it. Like when we were doing Stargate, it was very, very expensive and very limited in what you could do with a 3D printer. Now, honestly, like it's one of my pet peeves now is I feel like the cosplay community's props are in many cases better than what we're using on set. Because there's so much time and dedication and love put into these homemade DIY prop stuff that they have more detail and they're more, in some cases, even, they do more in some cases than the props themselves. So.
Nice. Someone literally just chatted me while we were talking. You have Rodney freaking McKay on your show right now. We have a full Stargate in the house.
Sweet. Actually, one of the technologies that I was telling you about, the ones that I was looking into, the space, the company that prints rocket ships, so their printers are called the Stargate printers.
Oh, geez.
That's how I first learned about them. They're like literally called Stargate printers, and I was like, well, that's a company I need to work for.
I love it. What's this on? This is on Instagram, I think. I'll find it while we're talking. And you mentioned C, that's on Apple TV. I don't have Apple TV. I've admittedly never seen any of that because I don't have Apple TV.
It is the weirdest show. Like, I love it, but it is the weirdest show. Like, I don't know who managed to pitch this idea of let's do a post-apocalyptic future where everyone's blind.
Sure.
But it's an action show. And you're like, what? How does that work? Like
everybody's blind.
Literally everyone's blind. So it's like Mad Max, only everyone's blind. But as a result, it's really kind of a cool, I mean, only Apple could do it. It's such an odd choice. And then it started and it was a very sort of serious, heavy, almost like, almost art like series. And then Tropper came in, the guy I worked with, and he started like finding the humor in it and turning it into more of a crazy action series. He brought in like, you know, Bautista and so you got Bautista versus Momoa, and then, you know, and then me. Hi. You know, like that. Yeah, so it sort of starts quite heavy and becomes like this really, really fun. I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. But it's
I'm gonna have to find a way to watch it without Apple TV. I'm not sure.
I don't know what you could possibly
you can rent it or something, or yeah.
They used to give away Apple free with the. Didn't they used to give away Apple TV free with whatever your new iPhone or whatever?
Oh, maybe
for a while they did that.
I'm on Android, but we could find out. Maybe you know what? My father-in-law has an iPhone. I wonder if he gets it. I'll have to
there
ask.
You go. Yeah, check. See, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do that for sure.
Sure. Ryan, if you're watching still, let me know if it's okay to show this to everybody. I'm thinking you're gonna say yes, but I don't want to show it without your permission, because I know you said like, look, this is my house, but I don't want to just blast it out there for everybody to see. Anyways,
this is my house.
Yeah. So that was C, and then, you know, he obviously brought up you know, Stargate. We've talked about that, you know, in the past. But
Stargate always, because I love. I mean, everyone always says, "Are you okay talking about Stargate?" I'm like, why not? Why wouldn't I? The only reason I'm here is because of Stargate. I wouldn't have met anyone. I wouldn't have met anyone on. Like, I mean, it's one of my biggest, you know, issues with the way Twitter is just such a dumpster fire right now. Is that I don't want it to go away, because it's been such wonderful access to me. Like, I could go like, I like 3D printing. What should I do? And then all of a sudden you got all these wonderful fellow nerds going like, we're into that. You know, there's always the great thing about Stargate is it meant that there was always a nerd who knew a nerd. There was always someone I could find to find out about stuff I was interested in, and I'm interested in everything. So
it's like it's kind of like it's like the seagulls, you know, the mine seagulls.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's little groups of each different. Yeah.
You throw out like, who has this STL, or where can I find this? And it's like ding 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 ding.
Yeah. The hardest thing I find is everyone wants to do things for me. They're like, oh, let me send you a print. I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, I want to do the printing. Like, I want to do the work. Like, but everyone's like, no. Like, it's lovely. Like, they just want to help, and they're enthusiastic about it. But I'm always like, no. Like, I'm looking into Mastodon right now. I'd like to set up my own Mastodon server. I don't want someone to do it for me. I want to. The whole point is for me to geek out and try this stuff.
You want to learn, and
we'll see. So I'm on the fence on that one right now.
Yeah, you just want to do it.
It might be a lot of work. Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see.
Wow.
This is Ryan, Offset Maker Lab. By the way, awesome. Death Racers at Earth. But here you go. Let's see.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yes.
Oh man, I want that.
I want to run and
so many
dive
cool
through
things
it.
when that camera panned to the side.
Yeah,
like, I saw a proton pack. I saw, what was that? This looked like something with a.
Let's see.
Shark.
Who is this? Who's
we
doing this?
We got a pan. Now we're analyzing.
It looks like with the refrigerator painted like a P-51.
Yeah.
And then the proton pack over here.
I see the proton pack. Yeah.
I don't see Death Racer though. I'm a little bit disappointed. No, I'm just joking. We met at Earth, and I battled Ryan, and he had a gorgeous Death Racer at Earth. I don't know if you saw Death Racers. They're all 3D printed.
No,
actually, I don't know. Well, mine's behind me,
but
it's essentially an all 3D printed tank track driven battle bot kind of, but you try to knock the head off, so that the head is the on off switch, and you have for lack of better words, basically a mace or something swinging around on the back, and then the idea is to hit the other guy in the head. It shuts the car off, and you keep going forward. And
so it's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, only for
kind of Rock'em Sock'em meets BattleBots meets tanks.
Didn't you have to knock the head off the?
Yep.
Or at least,
and it's post-apocalyptic, and everybody's blind.
And everyone's yeah. It's very difficult. The remote control vehicle is very difficult when you're.
They are very hard to drive anyway, because of the nature of 3D printing. But
is it first person? Are you looking at
that would
through
be awesome. I
goggles,
know
or
some people have done it. I think
what do they call it? FPOV or whatever it's called?
Dave did, I think. But no,
I
they're
just throw up on anyone.
yeah,
just
they're
get so
not they're
sick.
not FPV. We all stood
Yeah.
up like in the dock at the college at IRF and battled to the death, in the docks, and it was a lot of
But
fun.
that's like, how
But
much fun is that? Like, that's
it was
did you ever
so
you used
much
to watch
fun.
BattleBots on?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like, I remember that.
We
That
had
was
we had Mitch Cerrone on, and he built Sub-Zero. He was on the
Sub-Zero,
Sub-Zero.
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he's a friend of the show.
There can't have been a lot of 3D printing involved in that, though, was there?
No, it was mostly metal, and I actually went
I was
down there to
gonna say,
visit
like,
him at one point, and he showed me the shop that he built it in and did the powder coating and everything, and it's super cool.
It is.
I'd love to do some metal stuff. I have the
I
CNC
know,
stuff now. I got to figure out.
Yes,
some
yes.
metal work
I
stuff.
have a CNC, and I'm not
Which
showing
one did
it
you
on
end
the
up going
channel,
for?
but more than once.
Which
I have
CNC did you go for?
I have the Onefinity machinist is what I got because I only had a small amount of area. But
I got a little prover, one of those little
nice.
what are they called? I can't remember what they're called, but I can't remember the name of the company now. They were very cool. They actually sent it to me. I should know the name.
Oh, it's okay. I think the same thing. Onefinity was awesome. They sent me over the machinist, which is
Sane Smart. That was it. Little Sane Smart.
There you go. Yeah.
Which are they're the little cheap little things, but they're freaking great. And I also have then I got the open build, which is kind of huge. Yeah.
The open build, yeah,
it's in the garage. I built it in the garage. It was very nice. We had a Tech Bandit donor donate it, and
that's perfect segue because last time we talked a little bit about Tech Bandits. I definitely want to talk about that. So anybody that doesn't know what Tech Bandits in, let's start with that. If you don't know what it is, how would you describe Tech Bandits?
It's basically a science, technology, engineering, arts, math club for kids. And it's just trying to inspire the next generation of brilliant minds, as I put it. I was a high school dropout, but I just loved learning. I always loved learning, but I never saw any connection between learning and what I was doing in school. I just never saw the connection. Like, it was, it's my own stupidity, but it's also, I think, the way the curriculum was based in some, a couple of bad teachers and that kind of stuff, like I went into school so curious about stuff, so excited to learn about, I was all into electronics and computers, and well, there were no computers back then, but I mean, the early computer stuff, and tearing stuff up. I used to take old TVs apart and build train sets, and I loved all that stuff. And then I got to school and I was like, okay, great, we're doing electronics in school. And it's like, oh God, this is so boring. You know what I mean? Like, and then I was done. And then as soon as people realized that acting was, and I realized that acting was probably where I was going to go, I just got thrown into the art stream, right? So all of a sudden it's like, Hewlett, he doesn't need all that complicated stuff. He's going to be pretty. So and that was sort of part of my frustration as well, is I felt like, no, there's just because I was doing the acting stuff didn't mean I didn't want to learn. I wouldn't have wanted to learn other stuff. And so I was very lucky in that I've always been very sort of motivated to, teach myself stuff. And I just saw a lot of kids do the same thing, where they're going in at like, age 2 to 6 or whatever. They're like, woohoo, what are we learning? And then as soon as you hit like grade 4, it's like learning's boring. And you're like, we lost them. So I just wanted to do something. And I started by bringing in, I would find things that people had thrown out, like old 3D printers or old PCs and stuff. And I just brought them into the local school and had the kids pull them apart. So we did like a breaker space. And
That's awesome.
it was just amazing, because the kids at first, they just want to break everything. You're like, can I use a hammer? I'm like, no, please don't use a hammer. Like, I don't think all right, fine, use a hammer, whatever. Put the goggles on. But, so they would break stuff. And then they were like, what's this? What's this? What's this? And then that was how I got started, right? You pull stuff apart, you never got it back together again. Who cares about putting it back together again? But you learned all the parts that, that's a capacitor, that's a resistor, look at that motor. What can we use that motor for? What can we use that motor for? Then they suddenly go off, they want to do this, they want to do that. So you start bringing in some robot stuff. And they were, fascinated by that. Then you go, well, you got to program those robots. So you start doing a little programming. Like, it's just like a conniving way to get kids to learn stuff. But it was so, I don't know. It was like one of the few things that I found in my life that I've enjoyed as much as being on set. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I come on set, I feel alive. I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. And I've never found that anywhere else until I'm in this class surrounded by like printers that have just been destroyed by kids, and they're all running around screaming, and it's all chaos. And I was like, this is the best, because they're just excited and they're learning stuff. And it's like, they'd say like, how does this work? I go, I don't know. Let's go find out. And we go and we Google it, and, and like, it was just so much fun. So, pandemic hit, we started doing it online. I started trying to do it as a closed chat. I tried to do it as like a Zoom call. And it was a freaking disaster, like just a disaster, because it was like you could hear them like click, 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 click in the background, and I'm like, oh god, they're all gaming, and so I was gonna just let it go. And my son said, "Why don't you stream it?" And I was like, "Stream it? What? But they're kids, you can't do." So I asked the parents. The parents were like, "I don't know what streaming means." Great, sure, let him do it. So I just started streaming it live. The kids would be on audio, and they set us up with the kids set up a Discord channel, because apparently then only old people use other forms of communication. Sure. Discord is what all the kids wanted to use. So set up a Discord server, and we just started doing it that way. And it's just been amazing. And sometimes it's one kid, sometimes it's no kids, Sure. It's just us talking about tech and stuff. But it is amazing because the kids sometimes they'll just lurk in the background and not say a word. And you can hear them gaming and all that kind of stuff. Sure. And I gave up on stopping that, because what happens is when you hit on something they are interested in, the gaming stops and they go, "Hey, what was that? Wait a sec, what are you doing there?" And all of a sudden you can see the things that they're interested in. So there's no point in you can't force anyone to learn anything. But if if you could just put stuff in front of them that will inspire them, they've got access to, they want to learn anything about anything. They've got an entire internet out there. Our job should not be trying to teach them anything. Our job should just be trying to make it interesting enough for them that they want to go and find out about it. Because that's true learning, right? When they're doing it on their own, you can't force that. So
yeah, you hit them with just enough to say, what is that? And then they have to go, they go, look, I think that's awesome. And having a 2.5-year-old, it is crazy how much he's just absorbing and picking up and learning. Mm-hmm. We got I think I was talking about,
and it'll all get thrown back at you. Just you.
Yeah, right. Before the show, we were talking about, we got a marble run, where you put all the pieces together and let marbles go. And he knows how to put them together. He knows how to stack them, and it might fall over, but whatever. And
that's the point.
He's like so good about blocks and marbles and puzzles. And it's so funny because he'll sit there and he'll be like, "Okay, let's put 4 marbles in, hit the little thing, let them go down. All right, Dad, put more in so I can keep them going." It's just like crazy to watch him.
But that's learning.
How he's expanding. Yeah.
And that's it. I don't understand why. How could we screw that up? How is it that we send them to school and we screw that up? I was like, they're all like, "Oh, learning's boring." I was like, "What are you nuts?" I know school's boring. I get that. I hated school. I hated every second of school. I loved my friends. In fact, Vincenzo, who directed the rats, the graveyard rats thing we were just talking about, that's my high school friend. We were making films together when we were 15 years old.
Wow.
That was our marble run. We would make movies.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Yeah.
So I mean, to me, that was, and I remember even saying back then, when I was 15, going I want to, when I'm Jason Momoa, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get kids into film at 15 years old, because that saved me. It saved me. I'd be living in my dad's basement with a Camaro and a subscription to some cannabis company. This gave me something. This inspired me into action, and I've loved every second of it. So,
well, and it's awesome when you find that, I mean, and it's different for everybody. It could be 3D printing. Yeah. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say, it could be 3D printing. It could be acting. It could be prop making. It could be a wardrobe. You putting together. I know, people that put together their own wardrobe and outfits for reenacting and all sorts of stuff. And it's it's all
the cosplay stuff's amazing.
Cosplay.
Oh my God. I am blown away by that. It's like we were saying, I think the stuff they're making is better than what I'm seeing on set half the time.
Well, and some the Iron Man suits, and I mean, really anything
that work.
People, right?
Oh my God.
People actually put the time into, trying to figure it out. And then, what can I do a little extra? What can I make it step it up a little, right?
And it doesn't matter how you come into this stuff or what angle you come into it. You're still using, you're still using scientific process. You're still iterating. You're still learning how to fail. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I worry about is that kids aren't used to failing. It's like oh, they're there. It's like, but learning is uncomfortable. Like learning's supposed to be uncomfortable. If learning's not uncomfortable, you're not learning shit. Like, you know what I mean?
True.
Like if it works the first go, you haven't learned anything. You just followed instructions. You know what I mean? So
Momo graduated from a high school my kids go to now. Nice.
Oh wow. So there you go. He graduated more than I did because I didn't even graduate. I was
well, and you were just saying you're not learning unless you fail. I mean, like you can't, like you said, learning is or failing is part of everything.
I think it's like an essential. We'll talk about skills for the future. It's like an essential skill for the future is learning how to deal with failure.
Drink this water down the front of
me. You're doing the bubblies and
learn that you don't. Got the bubblies going.
Gotta start an ad. This stuff, I'm addicted to this stuff.
They're so good. Yeah. I love the lime is one of my favorites. It's
see, I can't do lime. I'm not a big lime fan.
It's like a not sweet 7-Up or something to me. You know,
I like the mango ones too.
Mango's really good. The orange one's good. Here we go on the
grapefruit's nice. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. But what I'm saying is, like, if you didn't dump this down the front of you, and it could be any drink when you're young, right? You dumped it down the whole front of you, realize don't do that.
Yeah,
you just learn don't do that because you failed.
Like, shake it up, open it up. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, then you just learn how to direct it better at your friends. But it's I just think there's so many different ways into learning, and I worry that the curriculum isn't there for people, and you know, I worry that they don't see, you know, they go home and play with their dad's 3D printer and don't realize that that's just as important as the stuff that they're learning at school. Yeah, and in fact, we don't even know what they're going to need.
Yeah, 3D printer or the coding the little tabletop robot or putting together a 3D printed RC anything. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. All that stuff is like fine tuning your skills. And we do have some hot makes. I want to get to those.
Yes, yeah, go. Yeah,
but we were talking about teachers. And what's funny is we just had one join us, and I want to bring Abby in. She's actually a teacher, but she has an update on a project. That's why we have her with us. Abby, how are you?
Hi, good to see you here. Not sure how I feel about all the like anti-school comments.
Oh, sorry.
Not anti-school.
No, there are great teachers. Yeah.
Well, I do my best to keep it fun and interesting and applied.
And you're here. You're well ahead of the pack.
Well, and Abby is 3D printing a lot in her school, in her classes, and like she's done some since HotMakes started. We've been showing different models that I don't even understand because I don't comprehend math that good. But
or grammar, it seems.
Like you're talking about this one. Remember
yes.
this one?
Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's
okay.
Beautiful.
What is it? I gotta. Since you're here, you can explain it.
No, this is a surface. The point of this particular surface, and I wanted to graph the contours so that the students could see and understand, like the idea that we're looking at these lines in equal Z, but then when we consider it from a view up above, then the contours, we can find the maxes and mins and where the saddle points are and how the lines actually get closer together when the edges are steeper.
That's fantastic.
So this is a fun one. I did this one, I think, during distance learning because I wanted some more examples to be able to show the students because I couldn't really get my hands in the same space as them. So, but this one was a lot of fun, and I've got some other examples like it as well. But yeah, the 3D printing really gives the students a chance to. So when I first started teaching, it was like, how do I get the students to see it? And I use Mathematica a lot in my classes, and I use that to help make stuff like this. And so that makes a big difference in letting them visualize what's going on. But now they can actually get their hands on these things and like, what does a saddle point feel like? What's going on with that? And so I've got a lot of these kinds of surfaces just floating around in my classroom, and it's super fun.
That's fantastic. It's also more inclusionary as well, right? Because the fact you can get in there and feel this stuff is that some people they work better that way, don't they?
Yeah, I am 100%. I would rather sit down not knowing how to do anything but touch it and learn than just sit back and watch somebody do it, because I'm like, well, I can, maybe next time I see it, I might have an idea, but I learned so much better hands-on.
Yeah. Well, even the thing is, I can't take the time to like plot every single surface in every homework problem. But by having a few representative that even though we might be working with a different equation, we can come back to something like this and talk about like, well, remember these things or those issues, or I have ones where the surfaces intersect and we can build with that as well.
What grade are you dealing with? What
I teach high school.
Yeah.
And
is that all the way through high school? Like the whole?
Yeah, most of my career lately has been juniors and seniors, and I teach classes for the students who finished AP Calculus. But this year I have a class of 9th graders, and we're doing more like algebra and geometry kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's interesting seeing where the stuff that I'm used to teaching. It's like now we're like at these beginning stages, and I can see how little bits and pieces that we do now are going to develop further down the road. So it's fun.
It's so hard to explain to the kids though that it's going somewhere. That's always my frustration. Is it's like I feel like I always try to jump ahead to the fun stuff, and then figure that once they're inspired that far ahead, they can sort of come back and get the basics if they can.
A big part of when I teach is I talk a lot about what we've learned, and then where it's going, and what we might be doing in the next coming lessons. But with this 9th grade class, it's a new class for me. So I don't really know much about what's happening next month, but I can tell them what's happening in 2 or 3 years. Because of the stuff that I'm used to teaching later.
But they pick up on it. If you love this stuff, they pick up on that. Like that's honestly, I feel like that's a huge chunk of learning for me. Was like I've seen my kid turn around on subjects that he's like, this is the most boring thing ever. And then all of a sudden it's like, I freaking love science. Like he went into science, he hated it. I tried everything, being the nerd that I am, but he doesn't want to hear it from dad, but good teacher. And all of a sudden he's like, hey, do you know that cells do this? And I'm like, there we go. It just takes, but at the same time, you can get he's had a couple of bad math teachers. We started calling the last guy, the last issue we had, we called him a math hole. Because he was very, very difficult to work with, both a parent and a kid. And that was our little secret word. That was, we didn't say that.
So
don't tell him.
But he went from loving math
Johnson.
to hating
No,
it.
I'm just joking.
Like went from loving math to hating it within like literally 3 months.
That's fun.
But it's like we got an astrophysicist to talk to him, and so they do stuff. Yeah, it's but I think it's so cool to see you enjoying the the process of printing this stuff out and things, because it does make such a difference.
So one of the ways that I brought 3D printing into my classroom so far this fall is we have our what we call Yellow Ribbon Week, which is about promoting positive mental health and suicide prevention. And due to kind of a series of events and activity suggestions, rather than doing the suggested activity of yellow Post-its on students' desks, I decided to do yellow 3D prints. And I made all of the, let's go this way. I made a whole bunch of keychains and printed them and distributed them to my students. And I've got 10 different words that my family picked out, and they helped loop all the keychains together. And then I decided that it needed to be shared more broadly than just my own classroom. And I posted the models on Cults 3D and now Printables. And we're encouraging folks to 3D print the keychains. And for my family decided that we would want to make a contribution to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And on top of that, for every post up to 100 people, we would contribute an additional $2. And then Printed Solid, Joel Telling, LDO Motors, and Alien 3D got on board, and they said that they would each also match $2 and even raise the challenge up to 500 people.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I love it.
Right now, we're about, I think the latest is my husband's keeping the official count, but I think we're at about 70, 71 posts. So I think we're in good shape. By the end of December, we really want to get to our initial goal of 100 and see how that all comes together. So today I put together this webpage that Jim is sharing here. It's my webpage, which is mostly stuff from my school, but it's abbymath.com/yellow ribbon. And this has all the information in one spot.
Got it.
3D with Us published an article that I wrote when the project kicked off. And Max at 3D with Us has done a nice job of keeping the article updated as we've had new contributors sign on, or
Nice.
I then posted on Printables. And Pooch, of course, our good friend on the show,
Of course.
he jumped in and helped get a bunch of pre-sliced G-code ready to help make it easier for people.
Nice.
And that was a big help to me because I just didn't have the time or the profiles for some of the printers he thought would be good to put out there for folks. So that's another easy way to get it. And
That's
then
fantastic.
Volkaza is a brand new website based in Norway that had reached out to me a couple months ago about being one of their initial designers. And Volkaza's site is a place where designers can post models for sale that other third-party people will 3D print. So like, even though the website's in Norway, let's say somebody in San Diego wants one of my, well, or let's say somebody in New York wants one of my vases, and I'm in San Diego. So, but I'm not set up for 3D printing for people and shipping and all of that.
Sure.
But there's somebody with a 3D printer in New York that's part of the Volkaza system. So they take the job and then do the printing and in theory ship it locally to the customer. So
Nice.
Volkaza has posted the keychains for sale as a set of 10, kind of a single color version of them for anybody who doesn't have a 3D printer and would like to get them.
Nice.
And they're selling them at basically the cost of shipping. So they they still look really good, and folks can.
So you can order a set of 10 and
could get a set of 10 and
shipping if you
distribute
don't have a
them
printer.
or share them with their family. And those
Nice.
will count toward our master list of folks participating toward donations as well.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome. Well, we definitely appreciate that update. We'll have to do this again in a couple weeks and see where we're at. Don't forget, check out Abby's website, abbymath.com/yellow ribbon. I posted it in the chat a little bit ago, and I think I'm sorry, maybe Geary did. And then also I posted, you have to tag hashtag yellow ribbon 3D print if you make
it's
one.
important. Yeah, if you to get counted, we have to see it. So
right.
Does it have to be in yellow?
No. Oh, I need to put that on the webpage. Thank you. I threw this together before the show. Yes, it does not have to be in yellow. That was a big question. A lot of people have, I don't have any yellow filament. That's fine. People have been posting in purple and orange and black and gray and green and blue, or 3D Gloop did a great one to match their own company colors. So it's whatever I say, whatever colors bring you joy, and the colors that speak to you. Awesome. Yay. Okay. I see Pezla's. Yeah. Thrilled to take part and give for a friend's daughter to share keychains at school. Yeah. And there was we've seen lots of posts from people sharing. There was one post in particular, there's been several that have particularly touched me. One was somebody at a school, I think a middle school, and they had a pile of keychains, and they did them with different colors on the back and then a yellow on the top. And then they said they were distributing them to all their counselors. They had pictures of the students putting the keychains on. Nice. Several people have reached out through Twitter and commented on how much the project has meant to them because of issues that they've dealt with personally with mental health, or folks that they know who have either died of suicide or have attempted, and that they feel that that's been uplifting for them and a chance to spread the word and remind people that there are folks out there willing to listen, and there's resources like 988 and places to go to get the support if you or someone that you know is in need.
That's awesome. Well, this is an awesome project. I know we brought it on a couple weeks ago, and I love the update. We got to get more than 70 out there, though. I know we
Yeah.
can do that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
have
Yes,
some and
Jim.
tag it.
I don't think we have gyms yet.
We don't. I need to get mine. Maybe I'll do that right after the show tonight.
Yeah,
just
I
gotta
better
start
fire up my printer.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it only
Out-
it
do it.
takes like it depending on your printer, it's probably less than 20 minutes to do one. That's all
Nice.
it takes is one to post and share. And you can post on Twitter, on Instagram, or if you prefer to post a make on Cults 3D or Printables. People have
Sure.
been posting makes. Or if you're just not a person to want to put out your work there publicly, I guess you can track me down through abbymath.com and you can email me and just let me know or send me a photo, abby@abbymath.com, and we'll give it a count too.
That's fantastic.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for
I
the
better get
update.
tweeting.
And yeah. If you find Abby, she does some awesome models too. So you can check out her Abby Math on Twitter, I believe.
Yeah,
And-
I was. Do you want to see a sneak peek of what I'm working on right now?
Ooh.
Yeah, let's do it. I know we're running way behind,
I
so
know.
I apologize.
Oh yes. Okay,
Yeah.
very quick. It's
ahead.
a project with my daughter, and we're making something for the holiday.
Oh, nice.
And
I
it's
love it.
kind of gigantic, but
Sure.
the idea is that it is a coaster.
Okay.
So we
Coaster.
modeled it based off of like a coaster
Sure.
that I have in here. And then we're working on where these actually have the feathers are going to have little holes. And then
Okay.
these are pegs. So then you can print it all single extrusion and then fit it in and make whatever color
Ooh.
turkey feathers you want.
Ooh.
So my daughter's running back and forth to the garage, printing different colors as we get organized for our post. So hopefully
That's
that'll be out in the
fantastic.
next couple days.
What are you using to design it? What do you have? Are you using Tinkercad and stuff? Or what's the-
That's Fusion 360.
Fusion 360. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
Well, we got to get on to the hot make. So I'll sign off for now. Everybody print and post. Let's see those keychains. Thanks, Jim.
Yes.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you so much for being
That's
here.
fantastic.
Yes. See you later, Abby.
That's great.
I love it. All right.
I guess I
yeah,
know what I'm printing next.
Yes, the project is so good too. And when we had her on a couple weeks ago, Nick from Polymaker was on, and he donated a bunch of filament. I think
Oh,
we did
cool.
7 spools or something like that, which was really cool to see. But yeah, I think. Do you have a few more minutes? Can we hit some hot makes? Or
of
I don't
course,
want to keep you if you don't.
absolutely.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Good.
All right. Hopefully everybody out there is good too. We're gonna rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do some hot makes. All right. I definitely hit the wrong button and I went to
and you're in Twitter hell.
there we go. No, I was clicking around. The first one comes to us from Ron, the Canadian Maker Project. Ron, today I was working on a new back bracket for the Prusa Mini to hold a brick off the side of the racks. He works at a print farm. They have a bunch of Prusa Minis, of Prusas. So far, this is his favorite. So he's modeling a bracket to hold the power brick.
I was like,
Prusa
why does he
Mini.
have a brick? Like, what's he do with a brick?
Yeah, he just likes bricks. There
Like
you
a
go.
Pet brick or something? Or what the
Yeah,
heck?
we
Right.
put googly eyes on
That
it.
makes more sense. Okay,
yeah.
yeah. That makes way more sense to me. Yeah,
I
because a
love
brick would have been stupid.
it. It would have been awesome. I think we might have to have some pet brick. You remember Pet
Yeah.
Rocks?
Yeah,
Um,
it'll catch on.
Yeah. It's a genius idea.
That's great.
But yeah, I think I like this a lot. I have a mini myself, and the brick is just kind of there. It's like a computer brick, laying out or behind a desk or something. So nice work, Ron. I like the idea. And if you want to check it out, I think he put it up there. Here's some closer look. So it's from the side here, and there you go.
Oh, that's great.
So it's a nice little addition to hold your brick. And this looks like he uses those like heavy duty utility racks, so it probably hangs right over the back. Nice work, Ron.
Well done, Ron. Well done.
Well done.
Excellent.
Caleb, he says
Oh.
this one was posted in a 3D printed Ghostbusters props Facebook group. Chad doesn't use Twitter, but he wanted to tag it anyway. The Stay Buffed was printed on an Ender 3.
Stay buff.
150%. There you go.
Wow. Look at
The
that.
Stay Buffed. I love it.
That's great.
I don't, this, you know, I don't. I wonder if he's still with us. This could definitely go with his Death Racer, Ryan. If you guys are still on, we need to.
Generally, you
print
don't
this.
see that kind of behavior in a major appliance.
Yeah.
Dogs and cats living together. That's great. I like the way
love
that
it.
he's like got the whole theme going, like with the Ghostbusters on his actual
Mhm.
printer as well. Yeah.
It's so good. It's so
Yeah, he's
good.
got there's a tiny Stay Puft on the extruder and everything too.
There's
Oh.
what? Is there?
There is.
Yeah, there was a
I'll
little
have to
Stay
go back
Puft on the
and find it.
extruder.
No, I missed that.
Hang on, I'm gonna go back and grab that link and go find it.
And
Let's
I'm-
see.
yeah.
I think that's this one.
The old guy. It's my eyes. My eyes. I can't see.
All right,
Here we
let's
go.
go see this. Oh, I see him.
Oh my God. Yeah.
There he is. I didn't even.
I'm not surprised we didn't see that. That's pretty small, but that's cute.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That was I was talking we were talking to him over Facebook chat, and he just really likes Stay Puft stuff, and he's Stay Puft like all of his printers and stuff.
That's
Yes.
great. I saw there was a great one that someone had done like one of the Pokemon characters, like a Bulbasaurus or something, and had created the entire thing around the I think it was the mini.
Ooh, oh yeah. I did see that.
Yeah.
They made their mini into a full model, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like a whole Pokemon thing. It was beautiful.
I need this to go with the Ecto 6. Yes, you do. All right, what do we got next? This is, let's see, chicks waiting on mom to pop off the glass. So I was like, what are they talking about at first? And I had to scroll down here.
Oh wow.
There's some mini little guys
wow.
here, and it looks like a full model.
Holy crap.
And
That is beautiful.
I
I love the coloring of that.
it is crazy.
It's how it printed like that?
Yeah, it prints flat, and then I believe it pops up. Let's see. That's how it prints.
It looks like a dead bird right now. Like it
So
looks
they,
like
in that post they linked to they put an Amazon link in that post to the filament that they used, and based on the product photos, yeah, it looks like it just printed like that. Like that's just a color.
that is
Oh,
I
nice.
love those gradation filaments. It's just beautiful.
Amylin PLA. I don't know what that is, but the chicks that were 70% size and mom was 200%. So that's pretty dang awesome. I love the color. You're right, and I like that they did the different colors here for the chicks. But that print itself, I might have to check that out. Like you said, it kind of looks like the bird smashed your hot plate.
It's like that's when they hit the window.
Turkey's done.
Yeah,
Battleground.
That's it. It is. It's like, what do they call it? They called it like the flattened chicken. It's a flattened chicken print. That's great. Yeah.
I love it. All right, what else do we got here? Printed Visions 3D. There you go. There's gotta love that. This is I believe go print some gingers and tag me of the print. So this was Stephen Lightspeed's one of the models, and I love the color. It's funny, the eyebrows on there and the little bow. Last week we talked about Steven. He made a Tripod's Garage version with a leg that had been broken off because Tripod only has one leg. So there's a Tripod's Garage version of the gingerbread guy. I love it.
I love how people like focus on these very specific, like they're like, I do gingerbread. I do flattened birds. Everyone has their own little. They go through their stages of only printing. I was only printing those flexi things for a while there.
Yeah. What was that, Geary?
I was just gonna say we need a gingerbread like Geary.
A gingerbread Geary.
Oh yeah, with
Ooh.
a gear head. Yeah.
There you go. That was the challenge has been dropped. I'm sure by the end of the show we'll have a gingerbread Geary. That's how fast the community works. But I love it. I love it. All right, what do we got next? Oh, this is awesome. This is a summer STEM project with my daughter. She grew out of her old one.
I can't get my kid out of bed. They're making freaking violins.
Right. It's fully acoustic Protopasta's Nebula, which is a phenomenal color by the way. For the body, and their recycled carbon fiber for the neck and head. More active on TikTok, but check this out. Let's see.
Oh,
this thing is gorgeous.
That is beautiful.
So nice.
Seriously, you did that with your daughter?
Hey, I
can't even
love
make
the
dinner with my
nebula
son.
color, right?
I'm like the worst parent ever. That is gorgeous. Yeah, there's
It's
something about
interesting.
that I think this is just something that's so specific to 3D printing, that type of
Sure.
color
Like
gradation
finish.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
The nebula, the Protopasta Nebula, I printed a few things and posted. It's so nice.
And
Let's
they have
see,
different, I guess they have different variations of colors, or is it?
there you go. Yeah, definitely different colors and stuff. Nebula just happens to be this. What you don't see here, I wish I had it close to me. I'd grab it. There's like a sparkle, and it's stuff you don't see in this picture. But the color is it's just in real life. Again, I wish I had something near me because I could show it in the camera, but it's it just pops. What's interesting that I see here is that has to be pretty thin to be able to see through it like that. You see, here's the
Are
neck.
we seeing through it?
I think so. I think this is the. There's a rod in there, I believe, for being stiffer. Yeah.
Wow, that
I think there's some translucency going on here. I mean, it has to be hollow, right, to play, I suppose.
It's got to be fairly thin. I'm guessing
thin,
just
yeah.
as a yeah. Huh.
Interesting. My daughter and I, for her school project, we made a cigar box guitar. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Jack in the shop's like, can't get my son to do anything either.
Yeah. Had to be done in vase mode. That would be super. Had to be a thick vase mode. Yeah. Right. That would have to be a thick vase mode to be able to hold up to playing it. I mean, you thinking, I don't know. But super cool.
I wonder what it sounds like. Do they play it on her TikTok?
There you go.
I have to get TikTok just to play
there
it.
you go. There's a better kind of
that's gorgeous
representation of the color. You can kind of see it.
Ooh, look at that. I love the way they've got the little honeycomb for, I guess, for support. That's why that's probably why it could be so transparent.
True. And you can kind of see the sparkle, the glitter in this one a little bit, but so cool. I love the idea. And Jason, nice work on that.
How long did that take to print? I'd love to know how long that took.
Right?
That's got to be a while.
What did they say? Let's see.
Is it?
Nope.
I'm trying to think how big.
Oh, here we go. I lied. This is just someone responding to Abby's post. I was gonna say maybe here it is. Yeah, it's
trying to find the TikTok, but give me a second.
No problem.
We can come back to it.
TikTok. Oh,
no pressure.
There you go. All right, lights. Next up, we got Lightspeed record-setting crystal winged dragon by Cinderwing. There we go.
Wow.
Mirror Chameleon PLA, and it was on his Ratcore V500. 260%, 3 kilograms of
4 days.
In 4 days.
Wow. Wow.
This thing has to be huge.
That's insane.
There you go. There's a face for scale. A face for scale.
Holy crap. That's, man, you don't want that going wrong. Damn. It stopped at the head.
Yeah. Oh, you come back to 3 kilograms of spaghetti.
Yeah. I've been there.
Right.
Since I moved it out in the garage, it's a lot harder because the temperature is different. So it's I still haven't quite found my of course the temperature keeps changing here. So just
right. Yeah. Well, you're up in up north, right?
Up in Toronto, eh? Toronto, eh?
So,
yeah.
Did you get any of that big snow?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. We've got it's been freaking winter here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, anyone out in the Buffalo area or what? I think I saw 77 inches. I'm like,
we didn't get that much.
Gosh.
Yeah, there was we didn't get the huge dumping down. We just got like maybe, I don't know, half a foot, something like that. It was enough.
Oh jeez. We got maybe inch or two tops where I am, but in Wisconsin. But yeah, 77 inches I think was the I think in the Buffalo area. I'm like, nope.
This is the time of year I always ask myself, why the hell aren't we still in Santa Monica? Why did we come back up here? What have I done wrong? What terrible life decisions have I made?
Well, I don't know. That could be in the ocean soon. So
Let's
no.
see. Yeah, the ocean will be in our backyard soon. If that's
Right. All right. Tripod's Garage. Speaking of tripod, did a schematic laser engraving of the USS Enterprise on the X-Tool M1.
Wow.
It turned out great. Here you go.
Oh wow.
I love it.
Oh, that is beautiful. Holy crap.
I love how detailed it is. I bet somebody has a Stargate version of this. You know that's out there. Like,
Someone did a box for me, a Stargate box. I should show you. I don't remember the guy's name. It was a long time ago. This was back in the day when these things were really expensive. Hang on. I have this.
Ooh.
We built this.
Oh, wow.
And the box is beautiful, detailed.
That is
all the ancient writing. And then on the inside, I don't know what he did with this part, but on the inside, there's this.
Oh, geez.
Which is just gorgeous. Did I write the guy's
awesome.
name on it? I'm good at doing that. Nope, he wrote our names on it, not his. Really? I know my name. Anyways, whoever you were, please get in touch and say, because I will thank you again with a name, because it's absolutely gorgeous. It was at one of the conventions. One of the guys gave it to me. It's amazing.
That is awesome. What a make that is, right?
Yeah, isn't it? And that was a long time ago. So it must have been early days for laser, for this kind of laser cutting stuff. So
Gotcha.
Sorry, that was my little impromptu hot make.
No, that's perfect. Hey, Geary, can you make sure I'll come to your TikTok. He found the TikTok.
So
I just want to make sure the audio
there
isn't on.
There is copyrighted audio at the beginning, but if you skip away to the all the way to the end of the video, we'll be able to turn the audio back on because they're playing it.
Okay, awesome.
Violin.
Tripod, that is sick. Liz, my own hot makes. I designed a festive star. I almost said Festivus star.
Whole different look.
It's a Festivus star.
As a Festivus star, it's failed miserably, but as a festive star, it's gorgeous. Yeah,
right. This is awesome. It's on printable, so you can jump in there, and I love the different colors you used here. I'm sure you did this on MakerDeck. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you seen MakerDeck? I got to ask you real quick. Have you seen MakerDeck?
What the channel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what that is?
Chris Brillo's channel, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's like when I lived in an apartment, I used to watch the channel. I used to watch the channel on the television that they had for the security camera. I'm like that with this now. I'm like, I will literally sit here watching the damn people print stuff. Yeah. I don't have the nerve to do it because I would I'm going to be the one guy who it completely screws up.
Nah, that happens. You get Spaghetti Monster.
Oh, do you?
I had a failed print a couple times on here. What's
I've
funny
got a camera. I've got a little Wise camera on mine in the garage, and it's
That's awesome. I love it. I just throw it up and hang out in the background and watch stuff print. And
it's just something so weirdly satisfying about it. It's like watching the ocean. You know what I mean?
It is. You can almost hear the seashells.
You can.
I love it. But
I can't find the guy who did that thing for me. I'm embarrassed, but I can't remember his name.
Ooh, I found 12 of them. Only 4 to 5 swats per star. Nice.
Huh.
My second design. That's awesome.
That second design? Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty detailed.
That's pretty cool for your second design ever. So there you go.
Wow.
And one last one. I know we're running way late. I'm sorry, everybody. Extrudum. I'm gonna go with that. Say hello to Bulletproof Wide Body for the Prusa MK3. Almost 2 years with the Ultimaker Prusa casing. It was time for a successor. There you go.
Oh, that is freaking awesome.
Then that looks good.
I could do that. I mean, I couldn't do that, but I could steal that and then print it.
You could definitely print that.
Yeah,
I'd print that.
For the Prusa, that's gorgeous. I mean, I
don't have an MK3S, but this is a really cool design.
Yeah, that is stunning.
Let's see.
God, damn you talented people.
I love it. Looks so good.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it just looks like serious. It looks like,
Is that even like an extra thing attached to the SD card? just to make it look cooler.
Yeah, I think it's like a a
handle.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a handle for the SD. That's so
It's
true.
It makes it look like a really chunky tech
Yeah.
key.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty
like
cool.
the post-apocalyptic 3D printer.
It reminds me of the Cortana chip.
Huh.
Absolutely. Oh man,
Yeah, that's Jesus,
really
that's
cool
really
idea,
nice.
and it's unprintable, so you could print it. You could print it tonight. There you go.
No, I'm printing keychains tonight.
That's true.
I got to
Keychain.
do keychains first, people, and then you can print your 3D proofs of things.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's for a great cause. So
Yeah.
definitely do that.
You could just
Man.
write 3D printing as your happy word on the.
Yeah,
on the,
there you go.
that's
There
what I
you
should
go.
do. Yeah.
I love that. Well, that was our hot makes for the week. Like I said, I know we're running late, but I definitely appreciate you hanging out with us. And Happy Math says yes, keychains first.
Yeah, see, I thought, yeah, that's it. I feel bad because I'm like, yeah, teaching school. Ah. And then it's like,
Well,
oh, he's a teacher. I'm like, oh,
and the
God.
funny thing is, you didn't know she was coming on.
No, I'm like,
She said,
great.
we were talking to her, and we're like, pop in around quarter till. We'll have you doing a quick update and stuff. And then that just happens to be where that part of the show was. And no, but I think there's really good teachers, there's okay teachers, and then there's bad teachers, right? And I think she's probably one of the really good teachers, and just from all the cool stuff she posts and shows and
It's amazing.
is able to see. And I gotta say, teaching has got to be one of the hardest jobs you could probably ever do.
Well,
Trying to
I
deal
feel
with
like,
the kids.
yeah, I mean, it's like, and also you're teaching, and it's other people's kids too. It's even worse. But it's also, they're working around curriculums, they're working around bureaucracy, they're working around all sorts of stuff, which makes it so much more difficult. So I realize I don't want to come down like I don't like teachers. I love teachers. I love good teachers. You know what I mean? And the good teachers are the ones that you remember, that you because you've learned something and you love something because of them. But I just worry that it's so random in how we, you could get a good teacher, you could get a bad teacher. It's like, it shouldn't be like that. They should all be good teachers, and they should be paid through the freaking nose for it. You know what I mean?
I love it. And you're absolutely correct. I'm real quick. I'm looking. Llama said, check the feed /
I'm checking the HotMakes hashtag. Maybe that's what he's
check the feed / notification before you go. David will get a kick out of it. All right, we'll check that before we go. Again, I know we're running late. Real quick before we fly,
I'm trying to find it.
We're gonna check that out real quick, and I gotta play this TikTok of this. We
Mama.
gotta come back. Circle
We got
back
the violin?
real quick. Am I? I'm muted on that. Okay, perfect.
Mama, can you just whatever you're trying to
this
share?
is
Can you just
the-
send it in a DM to the HotMakes account, please?
So this is the TikTok. That looks great in that case. I gotta say that. Definitely copyright music going on. I learned we can't play that, otherwise on my channel we get
they're
the very
nailing
end,
our
you'll be
Tech
good.
Bandits episodes too. It's ridiculous.
All right, hang on. Okay, I think you're good to unmute. You got it?
You should be good now. Yeah, I don't even know if your audio is playing through that.
Ah,
You can hear it? No?
I don't think you shared it with audio. You shared your screen with audio.
I
It doesn't
definitely
even
did.
matter.
I did. I really did. I promise you.
it's like it's holding up pretty well.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna drop it. I'll reshare it. But I know I shared it with audio. I wonder if I need to crank it up or something. Here, let's see. Share screen.
I didn't hear
share
audio.
my audio.
I heard your audio.
There we go again. Dunk. And we'll share it. Let's see. Nothing?
Yeah, I hear that.
Oh, you can? Okay. So that not bad. Oh, jeez. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, like that sounds like any old violin to me. I mean, that's like
Sounds like a violin.
what do I know? Yeah, I mean, when you compare it to the other one, I don't know the difference.
Yeah, I think that's pretty dang awesome. Nice work on that. And I'm gonna have to do that. So when I first started this, my wife plays a 5-string electric violin, and
wow.
she has a fiddle, and she has so I was like, I'm gonna make this. I printed out all the parts on my first Ender 3, and then they're all still sitting there. But I
that's
need to
what
finish
they're
that.
that's what we're there for, is to disappoint.
to
To raise the hopes and then disappoint.
and then never finish projects, because I'm great at that game.
I have
all
some
right, real
I
quick.
think they're fidials I was supposed to print out for some curtains upstairs. Never done them. No.
So ask and you shall receive. This is let me share this. This is the pet brick or puppy brick. There you go. The pet brick.
There you
If
go.
anyone wants to print
Pup
it,
brick. There you go.
yeah. There you go.
And you hit it with a stick, and it's a musical instrument. There you go. It's perfect. There you go. It's like the cowbell.
You could actually like pause it in the middle, and then throw some BBs in there, and it could be a shaker. It could be like a cowbell.
Oh my god, you totally could.
Yeah.
While it's printing, just throw in a bunch of
there you go.
dried peas or something. You got a
peas.
You got a rain dog.
It's a maraca all of a sudden.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it. Well, hey, David, I know, again, I keep saying this. I know everybody else that got some more shows coming in after me, I think, and we're running late. But thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Oh, God, whenever. Dude, I love this. I'm so sorry I couldn't
be
there for your birthday last time. That would have been a blast. But,
we had fun, and it's
next
totally
year,
okay.
We'll have to aim for next year's birthday then.
Yes,
like if we set the date now, I'll put it in the calendar, and then there you go. We're set.
Yeah. And what's funny is it happened to fall on the right day this year. So next year,
damn, it's not going to be the right day, is it?
Right. Well, whatever you're doing, I'll just come to set and we'll do it exactly from there. Yeah.
We'll throw some rats on you. You'll have a great time.
Hey, you know what? I'll get stuck in the tube because I'm definitely bigger than you.
That's it.
So you'd be like, just crawl in.
We've got a blockage. We got a blockage.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, get the plunger. Yeah, but Local Maker Michigan, my birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Chris Travis. My birthday's next month. There you go. Happy birthday.
You can't tell us your birthday's next month. Like happy birthday in a month. What? Nice try. I mean, come back next week.
Closer. Yeah. But thanks again. We appreciate it. Hang out right there. We'll be right back from you. But before we go, hit us with Tech Bandits. Where can we find that and check it out?
Oh, that's a really good question. Techbandits.org.
Tech Bandits. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's got links to everything. I think I changed my name on Twitter. On Twitch. I didn't realize that that made such a difference that it did. So like I'm just thrashing around on the internet trying to make things work. So if you go to techbandits.org. Yeah.
Now you're Havid Doolett and everyone's freaking out.
That's it.
Just
that's it.
2 letters.
Exactly. Oops, I deleted my Twitter account. Yeah, or D Hewlett on Twitter as well for the time being.
I want cake also. Nice. Everybody's saying cake. I want cake in the chat. I love cake. You don't get a body like this without cake. That's all I'm gonna say. But everybody
cake.
I love everybody out there, thank you so much for being here for another Monday. David, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Like I said, we'll be right back with you. Everyone else, we will see you next week. Next week, we are bringing on, I believe it's Walter Welsh. Yeah, Waltimus Prime, 2-time face-off champion or finalist, I guess we call him, on the show Face Off, where they do like all the modeling and
Oh, sweet.
2-time finalist, top 2 in that show twice. So he's going to be on with us talking about all the awesome things that he does in our kind of genre. So it'll be a lot of fun. So stay tuned next week for Walter Welsh. And we will see you guys next week. Later, everybody. Happy Monday.
Thank you very much, everyone.
See you later.